In the darkest corners of the universe, where the light stops to a crawl and where sound cannot escape, where time stops working entirely and eventually things in existence stop making sense. Chaos is an inevitable force on our world and our lives, so we've made great efforts to contain it within this space for only an hour a week. This is the Chaos Continuum.
So,
What
do you have to say for yourself?
I've just been busy. You know?
I don't. You didn't show up for the last one.
Or the one before that.
I asked you to play us out, and it was just silence. I could just hear the lights of your room like creaking.
I was taking a shit. Yeah,
Oh,
you gotta go.
okay.
You gotta go.
It's a pretty long shit. You're like me at work.
Yeah. Well, you know what they say. You know, I can't remember the rhyme right now, but I had it in my head.
Boss makes $1, I make a dime. That's why I shit on company time.
Company time. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Hello, and thank you, everybody, for tuning in to the Chaos Continuum podcast. It may be a little lower energy at the beginning. It's fucking late when we're recording this.
Yeah.
A little housekeeping. We're still posting on YouTube here in our video format, which has, slightly updated look if you've seen. And we are now also on Apple Podcasts. It's completely free. It's just audio only. If you hop over to Apple Podcasts or if you have an iPhone or anything like that, it's totally free and it's all on there. We're slowly kind of backfilling. Yeah. We're an infection. We're kind of backfilling the ones that we've already posted, or at least I am. I do all the work. And slowly but surely, like right now, we have our 3rd episode on Apple, which is the 8th or 9th episode of the podcast over there. But yeah.
So you do all the work. I thought I was the executive producer here. Yeah.
You are. Like you just get to say that's not funny or that is funny. But
yeah, that's what I
do all the technical stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So we work together,
So the podcast is now on Apple Podcasts for free. You don't have to pay anything for it. For now. Maybe in like 3 years when we start doing 1 million views an episode, I'll start charging for it. Yeah. But
we'll get grimy.
And then I'm trying to get it on Spotify as well, but Spotify is an ass. So that might not be for a while. We should just start like a crypto scam. Yeah. Yeah, zoo tokens.
Yeah.
Let's go right in on it.
Zoo tokens too. Let's do it.
Just call them gear tokens. Like Gears tokens. Do a Gears of War crypto scam. I'm down for that. If I can make money off of it,
that'd be awesome, dude. You know how many 40-year-olds pull in? Yeah.
Oh, we can get quite a few people to invest. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, probably.
So we have quite a bit going on. Some of it's a bit outdated because it took us so long to actually sit down and record this. So. Yeah. But chances are, if you're listening to this, you're probably not in the same circles as I am as far as news goes, and you might have missed a lot of this stuff. Because it's a lot of, not really important, but a lot of, small things.
No, it's important. Everything's important.
Yeah. Let me think where I want to start here. Actually, the one that's got me a little bit fired up, and is the most recent out of all of these, is have you seen people talking about the Minecraft mob vote this year?
Somebody showed me one TikTok about it, and I puked in my mouth because I hate TikTok.
Okay,
no.
So if you don't know, Minecraft has their mob vote they do every year where they come out with 3 conceptual mobs and what they might do, and they let the community vote on it. It's supposed to be like a community participation type thing to get people interested and excited for the upcoming update. But what happens every time, is they give us 3 mobs to choose from, and then the community votes on the worst one, like the glow squid.
Yeah, or some shit like that. The streamers and the Minecraft Let's Players stand up on Twitter and go, "So guys, let's vote for this," and it is just the least interesting ones.
Yeah. So about a month ago as well, Minecraft updated their usage of Minecraft content, meaning if you're a Minecraft creator or anything like that, Minecraft videos are now considered commercial use, which means Mojang can take them down at any time for whatever reason. They're going full Wizards of the Coast, Games Workshop with Minecraft stuff.
That's awesome.
Meaning if your YouTube video or server or whatever is not kid friendly enough, theoretically they could just walk in and tell you to shut it down.
Dude, no more Minecraft stuff.
So yeah, no more Minecraft stuff, or at least they're attacking, the ones that do exist. And then right after that, we get this new mob vote, which has multiple things that people are all excited for. Like everyone wants all three of them. So the Minecraft community, especially on TikTok, is starting to post anti-fascist memes rebranded as anti-Mojang memes or posters.
I think I've seen like some stuff like that.
Yeah, with full-on "Feed the Machine" by Poor Man's Poison or whatever. Yeah. All of these songs are like like down with the government type shit, but it's just Minecraft because people hate the mob vote. I've seen so many clips of like the mobs aren't the problem, Mojang is. Like,
you know what? I kind of agree with that.
I 100% agree.
They update it once a year, and they make us choose a mob, and then like the mob comes out, and the modders have already got.
So I just saw a thread on Twitter X from a Mojang developer self-claimed. I mean, I didn't do my research, but like they seem to say that they were how it was such a issue that they have to do it twice, and they have to do it on all three platforms and everything. But it's like the day after, modders make all three of the mobs in Bedrock and in Java Edition. So it's like I don't necessarily buy that it's too hard, because Minecraft makes around like $300-400 million a year in revenue. And
I think
their staff cannot be that expensive.
So here's my theory about it. Yeah. I think they're trying to keep the longevity of their game going, right? By not
barely
just
updating,
dumping they're not going to dump content. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I don't think they need to do a lot, but they need to do more than what they're doing. If their goal is to make it constantly updating, they should constantly update it. If they want to not change, if they want to change as little as possible, just stop updating it. Just be like, go the Skyrim route of just like, okay, modders, do whatever the fuck you want, but we're done touching this. We're going to do, whatever else we're working on.
Yeah. I think it would be nice that if they like made the modding scene more accessible on consoles and stuff like that. Right?
Oh, yeah. Well, right now, the only mods, quote unquote, you're allowed to get on console, you have to pay for.
Yeah.
Which is not how it works on PC whatsoever.
I mean, even if
in fact, the proprietary stuff I was talking about earlier, where they were hurting like creators and stuff, makes it so that mods, it might be certain mods, but mods in general cannot be for profit. Like creators on PC cannot charge for their mods, but they can charge you for mods on the marketplace.
I look at it that with the whole like them updating it, if they want to do the once a year thing, that's fine. It's kind of hype. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
A new update comes out, I binge Minecraft for a month and I move on. I think it would just be nice to have a little bit more for that month-long binge. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than, dude, now honestly, now I'm like, Minecraft, new update, I can't wait to see Mattress Pattress undo the lore of Minecraft.
Mattress Pattress. Yeah, no, and I get exactly what you're talking about.
That's what I get hyped for now. Like, oh man, Minecraft lore. I no longer care about the game. But no, I just wish there was more. Like just they get rid of the mob vote, and even if they just do 2 instead of 3, and then it's not really a community thing, because you get the big like Minecraft YouTubers and streamers, they stand up and they're like, guys, we gotta vote for this one, and it's just a mob thing.
Yeah, now it's just not as good.
Yeah. Then like your vote doesn't matter in the end of the day, because like half these people are gonna vote for whatever they're choosing. Yeah,
exactly. Real quick, this is not affecting audio. If you're listening on audio, kind of disregard this bit. I love doing visual bits on a podcast. For our viewers, I'm gonna play this. This is gonna be completely muted, but this is footage of another podcast of someone I know. I talked to you about this, Ben, but this is someone that I went to high school with who's also done a podcast. And I feel like here's free advertising.
I also can't see it.
Yeah,
the listeners out there, I also can't see it.
I mean, you'll see it later when the episode goes up. But I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. This took us completely off track. I think this is just plagiarism. But like,
I wasn't even told that this bit was going to happen.
Oh no, I just do as I do.
Yeah.
But like, as far as video games go, like outside of Minecraft, like that whole thing, I think it's fucking stupid. I think what they should do, and what I've seen a lot of people say, is that for the mob vote, whatever wins the mob vote should go directly into the game, and then the ones that don't win the mob vote should just come at a later time. Like they should work on getting all of them, just not all at once.
Well, they've got a whole fucking year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, okay, you could do your big clump of adding to the world. That's fine. I like that stuff. Like the Nether update, I thought was really cool. But I was like, okay, so I waited a year for this. This is so awesome. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But like at the same time, if that's the route they want to go, I think I just want more stuff. Because, like I said, after a month of playing it, then I'm like, okay, well, this is just Minecraft, but with different stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's not worth changing it if they change it so little, Imagine if, like, a game that does change all the time, like Destiny or Apex, if the only thing they changed in Destiny was once a year they added a single outfit set or whatever, You'd be like, okay, you're just trying to get money out of it.
Yeah. That's... this might be a hot take, but I wouldn't mind if they messed around with just how not the core gameplay, but you know what I mean? Because it's always the same shit. Like I can ignore everything else.
I would like to see Minecraft too. I would like to see them have keep the simplified quote unquote Minecraft that they want to have like Minecraft Core or whatever, or just Minecraft, and then have like an expanded version that's super compatible with mods and super augmented, and they go fucking wild with updates. Have like a super fucking
a
more
technical,
comprehensive, more complex Minecraft, because Minecraft has a wide audience. Like it's not just 10-year-olds who play it. Like they might be the majority, but like they're not the only ones that play it. Anyways, also
that's why I enjoy the mods so much, because it like brings something new to it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I always like having a slave force because it makes it feel like civilization.
Yeah, that's why we invite people into our server.
That's the only reason people come on the server, is so we can use them for cheap labor. Yeah. We're like the U.S. We're like the U.S. justice system.
And then we forget that the server exists for like 3 months. So all that work you just did for us just doesn't matter.
Yeah, because it's expensive, dude. $8 a month for 2 people to use it. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's insane.
Servers should just be fucking free,
One would think.
Especially a server that's can only host 8 players at a time.
Is that the max?
That's the max when you're paying for it. Yeah, it might be 10, but it's not like you can have more than 8 people on the server, but at one single time there can only be 8 people.
That's insane.
Yeah, but so that's fun. In other gaming news, Cyberpunk 2.0 is out and Phantom Liberty is out. I jumped into a little bit of Cyberpunk 2.0 because I was like halfway through a playthrough when I stopped playing it, and I was like, I'll just wait for the update or whatever, because I knew they were bringing this big update into play. I played it for like an hour. I haven't gone through and done like a comprehensive like second playthrough with all of the new stuff they've added, but that like 1 hour that I played of it felt so much, like 10 times better than when it came out. Because like I think the last time I played it was maybe a few months after it came out.
Yeah, because I think I'm going, because the like I still play frequently when I can, right?
Yeah.
But I definitely want the 2.0. I want to sit down and just feel the difference, because I remember playing it on day one. You know what I mean?
It was very substantial. The first thing I noticed was the fact that the game didn't feel like it was stuttering. It didn't feel like it was running at like 25 frames a second.
Yeah, because it was a small portion of my issue that it felt like the
For
game
me, it
was
just felt
trying
slow.
to keep up with. Yeah, that was
It was just
it
like
just felt
sluggish.
slow and kind of clunky a little bit.
Yeah, but so I'm glad to see that they've done that.
It's one of my like. You don't really made me stop playing the game.
Huh.
I got the one of my my 5th playthrough. I got the Sandevis stand and like the Mantis blades, and that the game just became really like a brain hurty experience. I had to slow down time and kill everybody. And I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah,
I broke the game.
Yeah, that's always fun. I think for me, the fact that like Baldur's Gate 3 on PS5 and like Cyberpunk 2.0 coming out so close is like, it's more reasons for me to not play Starfield, which I'm always thankful for. Like, it just continues to show me like how bad Starfield is, Like, I saw somebody do this comparison between two scenes that were basically identical, like plot wise in Starfield and Cyberpunk, because they both have obviously there's like tropes and type shit that gets used over, right? And the scene was in Cyberpunk. It's when you go to get the, it's barely in the prologue. It's when you go get the robot from the Maelstrom, like the fucked up cyborg dudes.
Yeah.
And I don't know the context of it, but there was this very similar mission in Starfield where you go and you meet this like businessman and you're trying to like intimidate him to like work with you or whatever, right? And it's like the difference in atmosphere between like Cyberpunk, where the characters have unique animations and they get up and they put a gun right in your face and the music is fucking popping off in the background. And then you see Starfield where the dude is just like casually sitting in the chair and being like, "No, I will not work with you. This is unacceptable." But he's like sitting like super relaxed in the chair, and it's night and day. Like,
it just doesn't.
It's one of those things to me that it's like, this is a game that was made in like 2010 at most. Like even Baldur's Gate 3, which is, I mean, like it's not super cinematic as much. Like, you know, it's got that old school RPG style where like most of the conversations is your character standing in front of the other character. But unlike a lot of games like Assassin's Creed or The Witcher, where when the characters are speaking, they just have the same like two animations, you know, like every character would, you know, like in Mass Effect, when you're talking to someone, the characters only have like 3 different reaction animations, you know, based on like if they're angry or whatever. Yeah. Versus like Baldur's Gate 3, almost all of the main conversations I've had that I remember, I'm talking too fast. Most of the conversations I've had, the characters have their unique animations for what they're saying, especially if it's like an emotional moment or something where the characters they don't just have these blank slate animations that they use. It's like completely articulated for the scene, you know?
Yeah, but like also, I think like Baldur's Gate 3 is a game that I wouldn't expect to have like the dialogue animations like Cyberpunk has.
No, you know it's nowhere near cinematic, right? And like, because Cyberpunk is much more tailored. It's much more linear. Like, it's more of an action game than an RPG. But
yeah, you don't know how I look at it though,
huh?
That Cyberpunk did what Fallout 4 did, but so much better.
Yeah, Cyberpunk is very much the same as where like it's got a tailored story. V is their own character regardless of how you like make small changes to them. Same way in Fallout 4, like Nate/Nora is still a veteran or still a lawyer, no matter what you think your like internal dialogue is, you know. But Cyberpunk does it so much better. Even when it was like when it came out and it was still kind of running poorly, still did it better than Fallout 4, I think, because the story, the writing alone is better. So, like, it's not even... You can't even really compare them, because Fallout 4 just does not have good writing.
Yeah. Well, no, but that's, like... I think that was one of the things that when I was playing Cyberpunk... I know we're probably talking about something you didn't want to talk about. Or wasn't on our list, but I figured, fuck it. Cyberpunk has that kind of Fallout 4 feel, but 10 times better, and I think that's why I liked it so much. Yeah? Because I knew in my head I didn't have to worry... Like, I could worry... Like, I was still on a linear story. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like Mass Effect where I'm sitting there and going, "Oh fuck, did I screw
You're really
up
lolling about your choices."
You know what I mean? Where Cyberpunk, it was like, the romantical stuff, whatever. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, but in the end of the day, I'm like, you know what? I know where I'm gonna end up anyways.
Most of your biggest choices in Cyberpunk, outside of like the final third of the game, most of your choices are like, do I want to talk my way through this, or do I want to just shoot them in the face? Which is most of what Fallout 4 is.
And it's just, but like Fallout 4 felt like oddly unnatural with that, you know, where Cyberpunk, it feels natural to have those choices. Well, also, like, it feels like the character to make those choices.
Fallout 4 has so many, you know, my favorite thing that happened when I played Baldur's Gate 3 was I went through like my genocide run and I went through and I slaughtered like the first village that you come across. And all of my companions that were like good were like, fuck this, I'm out of here. And they left and you never see them again. Versus... You look at like Fallout, where the Brotherhood of Steel are like, we hate synths, we hate super mutants, and you can bring both a synth and a super mutant on board the Pridwin, and they don't bat an eye. Or you look at Starfield, where the same thing, I was on stream, I went through, I killed a bunch of innocent people, and Sarah Morgan, the companion you're stuck with, that you have no choice to bring comes up to talk to you and is like, hey, I don't like what you're doing, but I'm going to stick with you anyways. And it's like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, my biggest issue with Starfield in that way is that it's like, it's very much Fallout Cyberpunk, that you have a character who has an ending, who has a story, but they try to act like it's an RPG. Like a full-on RPG where you do whatever you want.
If there's one thing that I would change from Fallout 4, and this is what I've begun doing whenever I play the game, is I only bring dog meat. I much prefer the game when I don't have companions, because it feels weird knowing that I'm with like Nick Valentine, a detective, and I'm shooting innocent people in the head. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's like I never played it. Fallout New Vegas was like that, right? Like if you were wearing certain clothing, like you couldn't go into the NCR.
Yeah, like or they'd shoot at you.
Yeah. Versus like Fallout 4, I can put on full synth armor, have a synth companion, and just walk into the Pridwin, and they're like, we don't approve of this, but keep going. We don't want to break the game.
And which is, I think that if Fallout would have cut the companions and just maybe had dog meat, I think dog meat is a good, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
I think having companions for like the factions makes sense, but like you can't have a faction companion that comes with you everywhere. You should be like it should be to the way of like, say like you have Preston Garvey with you. He's like, okay, let's build the Minutemen. But then when you like go to the Railroad HQ and you're starting to do railroad missions, he's like, hey, I got a job to do. Like I don't need to be here, and like have him leave.
Or it's just like mission specific stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Or
that
I think the biggest problem is having all those factions and like trying to like still give the player their independence, because it's like, so every time you play Fallout 4, you can totally play like you play all sides essentially, because the game doesn't force you to commit to anything until the very end.
And I think that was that's why I ended up just killing everybody. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it was like I already feel like, because the way that, so in my mind, right? So I'm playing each faction. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm like, what it feels like it's building me up to is just that I'm going to realize that all the factions are bad and eliminate them all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because none of the factions have enough good things to make me choose, and the game doesn't make me choose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, if the Institute is monitoring everything that I'm doing, then they already know that I talked with the Brotherhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they should know that, right?
Yeah.
So
it's just poorly written. It's like I
think it's just everything about it is poorly done, except maybe the settlement building, but that only gets good.
The settlement, that's poorly done. Mods is not an excuse for me anymore. The people that are like, but it's got good modding community. It's like, shut up. Like, no,
the game's not good.
It's not an excuse. That's not an excuse for this AAA multi-million-dollar. Xbox spent $30 billion on this studio, and you're telling me they don't have the fucking resources to put together a AAA game?
Yeah. And you're telling me what makes this game better is with people sitting at home?
Yeah,
you know
somebody fucking sitting in the basement making a mod that makes the game 10 times better. Like,
yeah.
Like, I've seen people putting together mod packs for Skyrim that basically turn it into a fucking Soulsborne game. Like, it's so complex and it's so much better than regular Skyrim. And what's sad is that will be 10 times better than Elder Scrolls 6. Like, Elder Scrolls 6 is not going to hold a candle to that mod pack.
No, I agree. I think Bethesda should, hot take, I think Bethesda should take a step back, look at what it's doing, and figure that shit out.
I think they should ditch Creation Engine, honestly. They should take a decade to work on Elder Scrolls 6 and switch engines and like totally remake the game from the grounds up, because it's not working as it is, I don't think. I think like the standard Bethesda gameplay is boring as fuck. Like Baldur's Gate can be boring, but at least it's got a lot of depth to like different spells and shit you can do, which keeps it interesting.
Well, I think Fallout 4, like a game like Fallout, I think we talked about this, it's super interesting. You know what I mean? But I think they've got to rip down everything that they've done. Yeah, right. They can keep like the main like base of the Fallout world, you know, with the nuclear bombs, rip that all away, and even like how the gameplay works, and just redo that. And I think you could have a fun Fallout game.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I can look at other games and be like, this game has done post-apocalyptic shooting better. Like I think, shit. I think Metro and Atomic Heart are post-apocalyptic shooters that have better gameplay than Fallout 4, and it's not like it's unobtainable for Fallout, it's just they don't happen.
they just don't do it, and it's weird because it's like it's not like an indie game where I'm like, oh, they're trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like it's fucking... a cool concept. They just lack the funds. This is like a AAA game studio in my mind.
Yeah. Hey, you want to talk about that? The fucking Metro team is making a game in the middle of Ukrainian conflict. Like, the fact that they were able to pump that out is fucking incredible.
I think it's insane. I think that, Bethesda needs to figure out what they're doing. And
look at like games like BattleBit. I don't know if you're familiar with that. I don't know who brought that up. I think Josh did. It's like the super pixelated like Battlefield style game, and it's made by like a team of like 5-10 people, and it's people say it's way better than Battlefield. Like it's up to like Battlefield 3 quality of standards compared to 2024. And it's like, how are people of these small teams able to pump out something so good unless studios are just saying, fuck it, we know it's going to sell, so just put it out there,
I think that's what they're doing. I honestly do.
Well, yeah,
and I'm not saying all studios do that, right?
I think it's a majority of them. I think there's very few who give their studios a chance.
Yeah. But
I so want studios to give up on Assassin's Creed and to give up on Gears of War and give up on Halo and do something new, because the fact that they're chained down by like the past makes it so that they can never evolve, because they can't do anything too new, because otherwise you anger the fans who want, they want Halo 3 or they want Gears of War 2 or they want, Assassin's Creed 3, but they don't want Assassin's Creed Valhalla. They don't like the change. So you need to constantly just make the same game over and over again, and people will like it. Look at Call of Duty. They haven't changed in 2 decades, and people still buy it like hotcakes.
Well, I think I know Call of Duty's got a lot of problems, right?
No.
No, it does have problems, like playing it. Like I just don't like certain things. But I do think for what they're doing, they have their formula right. Yeah.
They know their audience, so they stick with it.
Yeah, and that's different, because they're not like, you could bitch about the campaign, but I don't think a lot of people buy it for the campaign.
No, they buy it for
multiplayer. I look at Call of Duty as like sports games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the same.
They know their audience. Why would they change? And that's why I separate those from games like Assassin's Creed, which are made for the story. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why you can even put this on Starfield. Like Starfield goes backwards to like the older school Bethesda formula, and people fucking loved it. Because they don't want something new. They don't necessarily want something good. They just want something that is what they've done before, but new. Or refreshed.
And I think that... I think what they should do with Assassin's Creed is that they make one more game after this, and they just wrap it up. They finally give us a conclusion. You know what I mean?
I think they can end here. I have not heard anything good about Mirage. I've not heard anything like really, really bad, but... I think that one's just gonna like kind of die in the wind.
I think it already is dying in the wind.
Yeah. But I mean, look at a game like Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat manages to come back, and they don't change too far, and they like change some things that people dislike, and they change some things that people like. They stick to their formula, but they also like do small things that change it up in big ways. Like it's not.
Yeah.
But they also take enough time to it that they put enough quality into it that it's worth playing, versus like Call of Duty, where they pump it out once a year and it is just the same thing. Like Modern Warfare 3 is just Modern Warfare 2, but slightly changed.
And I'm not upset about that at that point, right? I've come to look at COD more as like sports games, where even like the NHL, whatever, they have their campaigns, right? But most people are playing it for the multiplayer. Yeah. Like, if I'm buying COD, I'm buying it for the multiplayer or for the zombies or for whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's fine. And I'm fine with the same formula. They add stuff. That's great. Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And I enjoy that, So I don't know. I really hope just Ubisoft does something different.
Yeah, I think all of the legacy mainstream developers are at their worst. I can't think of a single one that is doing well right now. Maybe Activision, but like Bethesda hasn't done well, I don't think.
I think Activision's doing good because they've been doing the same thing for so long, right?
Well, that's also like Activision's doing good, but Blizzard isn't,
Yeah, well, Blizzard's just awful.
Yeah,
They
Blizzard's not doing
completely dropped
well.
the ball with like shit.
Bethesda isn't really doing well. Xbox Game Studios isn't doing well. Ubisoft isn't doing well. EA isn't doing well. Like, there's no big studios, like the massive studios I can think of that are really killing it. I mean, PlayStation games and Nintendo are still putting out good games, but they prioritize like their quality over the quantity side of things.
Did you play the latest Pokemon game? That shit was garbage.
Not Pokemon, but Pokemon's always been bad. I'm talking about like Zelda and shit and Mario.
Mario's the same. Odyssey was. I have a lot of issues with Odyssey.
Really? I haven't played it, but I've only heard good things.
There's too many moons. It is too many moons, and you have to stop every single time, and it is just.
You're saying it's there's too much content?
No. It's and it sets things up that aren't always the same. You know, like I'll send you a video.
Inconsistent.
I'll send you a video, like a 2-hour-long video of somebody talking about, and I love this guy. Yeah. Giving his review, or not even critique, I don't know. But I love the way that he talks about things, right? On Mario Odyssey, and I think you'll see what I mean. Okay. It's just, like, and the puzzles aren't even that fun. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, it's boring. And it's another Mario game. And I'm not saying you have to do something new creative with Mario. I would love a Mario. Well, they already have a Mario RPG. I don't know. Tears of the Kingdom was good though. I like that one. Yeah. You know?
Which one?
Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh yeah.
The new one. Oh, that one was good.
Yeah.
And
there's some studios that just know how to do good games.
How many games does PlayStation pump out a year? Like, I
maybe
think the fact that
2.
Yeah, so they're taking their time, and I think that's the biggest difference.
Well, yeah, like their studios put out a game like every 3 to 4 years versus, I mean, Xbox takes even longer. The last Gears game was now 4, coming on 5 years ago. Halo Infinite was obviously 3 years ago, but I mean, it was 7 years before the Halo game before that. Sea of Thieves came out, 2015, 2016?
Yeah, but they're still doing stuff to that. That's rare. That's not necessarily Xbox Game Studios.
Well, it's like part of Xbox's first party stuff.
Yeah, but they bought
Forza.
Rare.
Yeah, Forza does something every year. Yeah, but I can't think of anyone else. Like, they don't do Lara Croft anymore.
Forza's not that bad.
It's not bad, but it's like, it's a racing game. It's not exactly like.
But what do you expect? I'm not defending Forza here, but I'm looking at what are you expecting?
Maybe it's because I don't play them, but I feel like, how do you do a racing game poorly, Like, especially if you already have a good one, how do you act, unless you do it completely accidentally, how do you devolve that?
Well, no, exactly.
Besides just making it look better.
I don't know. I don't like Halo as a franchise, and I'm not Gears is all right, but I think everything else they do, it's not like the greatest thing, but I definitely prefer to play most of them over other game studios. You know what I mean?
I guess. I think it's just the fact that, like, they don't put anything out. And what they do put out is not good. Fair. Like, look at Starfield, look at Redfall, look at, all these games that are not.
Yeah, but that's all different people, right?
It is, but so is PlayStation. Like, PlayStation is not PlayStation Studios. It's PlayStation. It's the same as Xbox. Where they have Santa Monica, they have Naughty Dog, they have different studios in the same way that Xbox has Coalition. They have 343. They have Bethesda.
Xbox just makes shit purchases, in my mind.
I feel like they're just not enforcing quality. And like when Phil Spencer a few months ago was like, if we made good games, it wouldn't sell consoles. It's like that's a philosophy insane. That tells me that they don't understand the game. Because the reason why Nintendo sells is because they're exclusives and their games are good. That's the only reason the Switch sells. There's no reason to buy a Switch outside their games.
If you could play Mario on anything else, I doubt that I'd buy a Switch. You know what I mean?
Switch sales would fucking plummet. Like
the simple fact that in order to play like Tears of the Kingdom or like Mario Odyssey or whatever, that's on the Switch is the reason you buy it.
Yeah, I mean, there is some things in like the portability and stuff, and I'm sure there's a lot of people who use it like that. But the
Switch still runs like shit.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
The hardware shit. Like they don't have like an online service like Game Pass or anything really. There's no
Well,
reason.
They kind of do, but like even the way their online service works,
Well,
it runs awful.
That's another thing with PlayStation. Like, it's weird to me that PlayStation is somehow charging more for their PlayStation Plus that is objectively worse than Xbox Game Pass. Like, Xbox Game Pass is like criminally underpriced for all that it has compared to PlayStation. Like, so I just entered mine, PlayStation. So, Xbox has like Xbox Core, which is like what used to be gold. They have Xbox Game Pass for console, which is like a slightly dumbed down version of Game Pass that you can get on console, and the PC version too, which is the same thing but for PC. And then they have Game Pass Ultimate, which is gold and Game Pass all kind of wrapped in one with everything that they own. Like games, day one, AAA games like Gears of War, Halo, Starfield, Call of Duty when it gets added to that, all of these AAA games come out day one on Game Pass. And you can play them
on your PC.
And on PC and cloud and everything else. And it's what, $16, $17 a month?
Yeah, it's $16 a month, $16.50 I think.
Yeah. PlayStation, you have $10 a month, which is the same as Core for just like the online stuff. You have PlayStation Plus, which is $16 a month, which is the same as the most expensive Xbox One, which only gives you access to certain select PlayStation titles, like Ghost of Tsushima's on there, Days Gone, and a few of their older ones. None of their biggest first-party games, not a single one of them are on there. Spider-Man isn't on there. God of War is not on there. The Last of Us isn't on there. None of like their major big like system seller games are on that service. And when you go up to premium, which is like $18, $19 a month, they're still not on there. And actually, if you want to play like remastered type games like Shadow of the Colossus or God of War 3, you have to pay for that most expensive version. Like, the fact that it's like $160 a year for that is fucking insane compared to Xbox, which gives you all of their games day one. Yeah, and that's like the only thing Xbox has, I think.
I also just maybe it's because I play a lot of my Xbox now. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like if I'm gonna buy a PlayStation or if I'm gonna play on a PlayStation, like I don't like the way the controls feel. I don't like anything like that. Yeah. I've owned a PlayStation. Keep in mind, right? You know what I mean? I'm not speaking out of my ass. Yeah. Xbox is better. I put almost the same amount of years into both. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Funnily enough, I started on PlayStation. Yeah.
Yeah.
I started with the PS3.
I trust you when you say your opinion.
So like,
I don't need your resume.
I'm not saying this out of yeah.
Well, no. I own both consoles, so your opinion is valid either way. Like even if you played a PlayStation for like 3 years or 3 months, some shit like that.
So I don't like the UI. I never really have. But then again,
that's fair. I think I like Xbox's UI. The longer they update it, the more they update it, the less I like it. Like this most recent update they've done to the Xbox One and stuff is the worst main menu I think they've had in a long time.
It's definitely getting worse, but I still prefer it over the PlayStation.
That's fair. I think the PlayStation one was really confusing for me when I started.
Well, but even me using it, it feels like it's taking me forever to get to a game.
I'll say I never owned a PS4. Like I started on the PS5, but every time I've used a PS3 or a PS4, those UIs always reminded me of like super old school. Like every time I used them, it felt like it was like the original Xbox style of UI,
That's exactly
where you have like the double scroll wheels, like going left, right, and then up, down.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But funnily enough, I maybe this is just me speaking from nostalgia, but as much as I don't like the controllers or anything like that, some of the games, like Little Big Planet, I love that. I don't know if you've played it yet, Kyle, but
I have. Yeah, I have a lot of fun with that.
I love those games. Right?
Yeah.
But with PlayStation games like that, with the exclusives, I find I'm getting a different experience. God of War and Spider-Man. The closest thing I can get to that is the Arkham series, but that's not an exclusive on Xbox. But Xbox just doesn't have those kinds of exclusives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So I I don't like PlayStation. I don't like playing on a PlayStation. I don't like the way the controls feel. All that shit. The light's too bright. You know?
Yeah.
PlayStation microphone and the PS5 controller.
I kind of love the microphone, to be honest with you.
No, that's one of the perks, man.
Yeah. The microphone's one of my favorite additions. Like, it's mainly really fun for me so far in Mortal Kombat and Call of Duty, because like the hot mics in Call of Duty are the funniest shit in the world. Like,
I know.
And the fact that I can just hear it on the remote. The fact that the remote, like the microphone on the remote or the speaker in the remote, sounds like an old school like 360 headset or like a walkie-talkie adds to the immersion of it. Or like, totally. I've seen a lot of people playing. So I don't know. Well, you're not on TikTok. Like the big trend right now for Mortal Kombat 1 on TikTok is like putting "International Love" by Pitbull over Johnny Cage. And I've seen a lot of people in Mortal Kombat 1 games play that song over their PlayStation 5 speaker remote as playing as Johnny Cage against the enemy. And it's like incredible. It's psychological warfare, and it's great.
Yeah, sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
You know it's better than both PlayStation and Xbox?
Huh?
PC.
No.
Yes,
I think PC is probably logistically better because you have access to a lot of things that are on both of them, and it's very like customizable and stuff like that. But as somebody who just wants to come home and like play a game of Mortal Kombat,
no, for sure.
I don't want to, I don't want to spend twice as much on a PC, like it's more of a hardcore gamer type thing.
Yeah, but I also think that like trying to switch from console to PC it's a really clunky thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a lot more buttons, there's a lot more things, Well,
yeah, especially if you've only ever played on console and you've never used a PC, because like I don't know, I feel like computers are not all that prevalent in homes anymore. Like they were really like everyone had a computer in like the early 2000s, and then like now nobody does because everyone has phones. So it's like,
and if you have one, it's because you work from home or you play games on it.
Yeah, or you use your computer for something at home, like. Yeah. But if you just like need to access the internet, you have a smartphone that can access everything, just the same.
Yeah, but I can't play Realm Grinder on my phone, can I?
Well, yeah, for games, stuff like that. But
yeah, I want to play my clicker game
soon. Apple was talking about how the iPhone 15 supposedly can run Resident Evil 4 at 60 FPS or whatever.
Dude, that's crazy, but I can't wait for my iPhone 15 battery to go, like the whole phone to go to shit in 2 years when they release the iPhone 6.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll probably happen just like that.
Yeah, that's why I don't buy them. That's why I've bought like Androids or whatever. I feel better knowing. I don't know. I have issues with iPhones. I don't like them. I used one once and wanted to kill myself.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The tech company is weird. It feels like everybody's just doing everything wrong.
Yeah, I feel like they don't have a handle on it. I feel like every year, the bubble gets a little bit bigger and it gets closer to popping. And I think maybe it feels like we're on the verge of another like financial collapse sometime soon. And when that happens, tech is going to go down because most of tech is investments. Like these companies like Apple only have so much money because people keep investing in them. But if it bursts, that all goes away because they're running basically at a loss. And it'll be interesting to see what happens in the future.
Game developers will make more shit games or good games?
I think AAA studios will continue to make shit games, if not go down, and indie studios that are already basically, just like maybe 2-3 people will rise and be like the new next best thing. It's like how
until they become AAA games and they go to shit.
Yeah. It's like the first writer's strike in 2010, 2012, when like reality TV shot way the fuck up and people started like making reality TV shows because you didn't need writers to do that. And then stuff like YouTube popped off because compared to TV, YouTube content was 10 times better. So what you'll have with games is probably that AAA games will become worse and worse and worse, and then indie games will be, the fucking next best thing because they're way cheaper to make. They're way they have way more passion put into them and stuff like that. And that'll probably just be the cycle of it.
Do you think if they start making, side note, speaking of good games, do you think if they keep on making God of War games, they're just going to get worse?
Yes. I think undoubtedly it has to happen. I think, I hope, fuck you, air freshener. I hope that Ragnarok is the last game that has Kratos, or like has Kratos as the main character, because I think his story is done. I think Ragnarok was a great ending to that, and bringing him back is it's kind of like the original trilogy. Like God of War 3 was a good ending, and it was like, it would have been a really bad way to bring him back if they'd done it poorly in 2018, but fortunately it was a great fucking game, and that wasn't the case.
I think they lucked out once, and I don't think they'll be able to do it again.
I think if they took their time with it and you had someone as visionary as like Cory Barlog at the helm, I don't know if he would be able to do it again, but I think they could tell a great story about Atreus and like his whole thing, but I don't think they can use Kratos as a character again, because he had a complete arc over these 2 games. So it's like, what else do you gonna have him do? You know?
But I just, maybe it's because I spent so much time as Atreus that, like, in that fucking Jotunheim scene, and you know what I'm talking about? It was fuck.
I think
you remember that?
If Atreus got his own game and he got his own like set of combos and stuff, because Atreus' combat and stuff and everything, it's very much limited compared to Kratos, because Kratos has 3 different weapons, plus he's got the shield, plus he's got his little bonus, plus he's got Spartan Rage. Atreus has the bow, some attacks, his shield, and like his wolf form, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like his is Atreus is like playing Kratos, but just using the axe the entire game. Like it's way more simplified. So if he got like his own thing where he got like that fucking sword again, and like the bow and arrow and the wolf stuff, and maybe some other like magical bullshit, it would be really cool to see game trilogy or whatever that follows Atreus rather than Kratos, I think.
Honestly, I would just like it if they just like left all of it alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd be fine with that too. I would be totally fine if this was the last time we saw them.
And they kept their whole like God thing, but just moved on to another thing and just started fresh.
Like a different God character.
Yeah.
Well, at that point, just because don't call it God of War, because God of War would just be
no. You don't call it. Yeah, no, don't.
Just do a different mythological story. I get what you mean.
And that's what I meant, right? Like whether it's the Egyptians or whatever. You know what I mean? And just do something different.
Do a game that's similar, but just make it about a different mythology, about a different pair of characters. You know. Exactly, and I think that would be. I'd enjoy that more. Then we pick up their story's done. And we're following the Nordic realm, but we've already done this shit. You know, Odin's dead, Thor's dead. You know what I mean? Yeah. Right. I've heard apparently there's rumors that they are doing a DLC expansion thing for Ragnarok, which if they do that will probably be Atreus, which will be cool to see. But I mean, out past that, I don't think they have. I hope that's not getting picked up. I can't hear anything. Okay, well, I was getting a call, so I had to make sure I let them know that. Yeah. But yeah, I'd be fine if they just didn't really do anything with it. Well, because I think it's great where it is. There's nothing. There's no reason to go back to it. You know, it's like Gears of War. The fact that they refused to kill Marcus is like, but he's not doing anything other than being, hey, it's Marcus. But like he doesn't exist in the story. Most of the characters don't exist in the story. Like a character like Paddock or Cole, like in Gears 5, they made it look like Cole died, which would be fine. Like even if you just use it as a shock thing, it's like he doesn't have a story arc or anything like that, so it wouldn't do anything. But they're like, no, just kidding, he's alive, and it's like, what the fuck? Why? Here's my plot idea for the new God of War game, quote unquote. Yeah. Huh. Right, Night of Jesus. Yeah. That is unironically how God of War 3 was supposed to end. Night of Jesus, and you just get like this crusader, this knight, yeah. But instead, he's on his way crusading. Then a portal opens up, and he falls into the Egyptian world, you know. And he has to kill all the gods to find Christ.
You know what I mean?
No, it's just like the night
I'm
where
pretty
like
sure
Mary,
that happened in history. I'm pretty sure that
where like
happened.
Mary had like just given birth, and the three kings show up, and then it like pulls back, and you just see a pair of feet, and like one of the blades of chaos like land in the sand next to him, and it just cuts to black, and you just hear a baby crying.
Here's my idea, right? Do you know the For Honor night in the campaign mode? Yeah.
Yeah.
We just you open up For Honor, yeah, and then it just opens up a whole different game as this night guy walks in, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything like that, I think that would be cool. I think they should go the Catholic route. I want to kill Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want to stand there in like the God of War fashion with Jesus in his fucking sandals with a big cross. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the religion fighting game?
No.
There was a fighting game that included all of like the religious what do you call them, characters, I guess, of different religions and stuff. Like it had Jesus, it had Buddha, it had Muhammad, and like all these different things.
Yeah.
I wish NetherRealm would make a Mortal Kombat style game, but it's just like all of the different gods across all like mythologies and stuff. So you get like Jesus Christ like stuck to the cross, beaten ass. Imagine those fatalities, you know?
Dude, that'd be so dope. I don't think they could. I honestly, I joke about it, but I don't think they could do a game like that with Jesus in it.
Oh, they would get so much shit from people who don't even play the video game.
Yeah, no, it would be the end of the world. Yeah.
Yeah, it would be like, how dare you do this? But like if you used, you know, like look at God of War, they're using Norse gods and Greek gods. Nobody gives a shit. But as soon as it's Jesus, now it's an issue. Which is probably why they didn't do that ending in God of War 3, because one of the endings for God of War 3 was supposed to be Kratos is one of those three kings or whatever that comes to Jesus.
Yeah. I want them to do another game that's akin to the kind of the God of War style, just not involving Atreus or Kratos.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to like start brand new. If it's good.
I think they could do it well. I think they know how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They just have to like.
Well, there's that Ninja Turtle game that I don't know who it's being made by, but apparently, according to them, they're designing it based on kind of like what the God of War gameplay is like.
Oh,
which makes sense
if
it's
like.
Well, it's Last Ronin, so it makes sense that like he's switching between weapons, you know, because he's got all four of them.
I really hope they follow the comics, and I really hope it's Michelangelo.
I would imagine it would be, because I imagine
that's such a character.
Because I imagine
I mean?
It'll be the same thing as like the Arkham Knight, where of course if you're a Batman fan and you're like really invested in the comics and like the animated stuff, you know it's Jason Todd. But if you're someone like me,
just watch the one fucking movie. Sorry.
But if you're like me and the only Batman stuff you watch is like the Dark Knight trilogy and you just played the Arkham games, that kind of comes at a left field because you don't expect it. You kind of expect it when you see like the torture scene of Jason Todd. You're like, okay, so this is where this is going. But
he's going to pop up at least somewhere.
Yeah, for the majority of the audience, I would say, who is not super invested in the Batman multiverse, they're not going to see this coming, you know? Which is something that I think remains true for TMNT. Because I think most people's experience with TMNT is like the cartoon shows and the movies. The Michael Bay movies or like the animated movies, like the one that came out this year. They don't know the Last Ronin comic.
I remember reading the comic and I was like, oh, it's going to be like Leonardo. It has to be. You know what I mean? Right? And I was like, no, fuck, dude.
He's too competent.
I read it and I was like, now that's a character. That's exactly what I thought. It was Michelangelo. That was the exact words I said out loud. Now that's a character arc.
Oh man, do you think he started touching kids? Oh, dude. By the way, all right, hold on. We're gonna go into Buster's TikTok drama corner. I've got a few things for this. So there is a dude. Let me tell you the story, and you tell me if it sounds familiar at all to you. There's this dude who talks a lot about how he struggled through being homeless, right? He gets out of that. He starts being more positive. He starts putting on a Crusader Knight helmet, talking about how positive he is, playing Minecraft, working the fuck out, and getting in like top physique while being like, it's all about good vibes. And then it turns out they were sending Snapchats to a 16-year-old.
Is this the Tall Knight guy?
Yeah, this Tall Knight.
Yeah.
But there is, there's another acquaintance of ours who's been on this exact same character arc. Love you, man. If you know who you are, you're welcome on the podcast. But yeah, Tall
anytime,
Knight,
buddy, anytime.
who is hilarious, and I've only seen bits of it unfolding, and apparently I keep seeing this clip of him. He made a TikTok where he's literally fucking crying, talking about how TikTok was his only source of income, and he like dramatically throws his helmet across the room, and he's like, "That I was gonna pay my rent." It's like, dude, get a 9 to 5. Like, you're built. You can get a job at a warehouse. Like, you can make money pretty easily if you just go to a job. But
I'm pretty sure the last thing that I remember him saying that he was going to wait till Moist Critical made a video on it and decided he was going to do it from there. Like, whatever,
oh god,
like, whatever Big Moisty's opinion was. Yeah,
that would inform him if he's going to stay on it or not.
like he's like Moisty Christ over here.
Yeah,
I'm about to give the judgment down. Like, that's nuts. That's wild.
Yeah,
that's about the only TikTok drama that I know of.
Yeah, that's him. There's another big one, but yeah, that whole thing played out, which is hilarious. And it's also like, it's weird to me if you're doing social media and your only income is coming through TikTok, you need to fucking stretch out. Like, start doing YouTube, start doing Twitch, start doing something. If your sole income is from one of these websites that can ban you and remove you immediately, you're setting yourself up for failure. Like, you got to reinvest into different things. Oh man, I'm burping a lot. But yeah, there's another one. This is a more recent TikTok drama, but this is one, I'll say his name. Everyone that I keep seeing doing the news story on it seems to be afraid of saying his name. I'm not. His name is John Romano. And I'm gonna give this to you in like the timeline that I learned about it, right? So in 2022, which is the first time I started seeing this guy on my own TikTok feed, this guy comes out and he's talking about how he got attacked in public by a dude with a sword. And his arms are all fucked up, and he had to get them like fixed, and he like has limited functionality and shit like that because he got attacked by a fucking sword and he had to use like his arms to defend himself, right?
Yeah.
He starts doing this, and he starts kind of building up a TikTok audience off the fact that he got attacked by this, and he's like talking about all these things about how he's anti-gun, and he's like, it's such a good thing that he got attacked by a sword than a gun, because he was able to kind of defend himself from a sword, but if the person who attacked him had a gun, obviously he would have been fucking dead, right?
Just move out of the way.
Yeah, just dodge. Press B.
If Keanu Reeves can do it, I can too.
Yeah, just put on armor plates. Like, it's that easy. Grab a white Evo.
Just
like,
Matrix.
Bare
just
minimum.
Matrix that shit. Just Matrix that shit.
Anyways, this guy builds up a following across all of 2022, and then slowly people start looking into him to like kind of find out more about him, because he's picking up and he's talking about all this, how he like works with programs to like stop gun violence and stuff like this, and he's talking really hard about it. People start looking him up, and then he kind of gets the jump on it by coming out and being like, in 2004 I took a gun to my school.
Jesus.
And he gives his side of the story is that he was just suicidal, but he was too cowardly to kill himself, so he took it to his high school, waited in the bathroom for the cops to show up, and then went out to the cops, where he was arrested and then put in jail for, I think he was in there for 16 years because he got out in 2020, which is not the case at all. So the story reported on was that this kid, John Romano, when he was, I don't know if he was in high school at the time or how old he was, but he went to the school with a shotgun. And then while at the school, I don't think he hit any of the kids, but I know for sure he shot one of the teachers who tried to stop him. I think they made it out, but he did shoot someone with intent to harm. He went to jail for 16 years, and then he's out, and then he got attacked by swords in 2022, and now he's trying to like say like, oh, I'm a different person now, I'm trying to advocate, and I'm trying to like, inform people about like school shootings and people that are doing stuff like that. To me, you should go quietly to, studies and stuff like that. You should not be trying to gain a following and followers on TikTok where you can get clout and
Shot
make
a
money
teacher.
off the fact that
Yeah.
you shot somebody attempting to shoot up your fucking school. Like,
Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah,
if it were up for me, you would probably still be in jail. Like,
yeah, that's insane.
oh, but yeah, that's
Crazy.
yeah, that's just about how that goes. I don't know. Do you have any?
Yeah, I don't really like. I hear about shit drama like that 4 months after it when it pops up on my YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This all kind of popped off about 2 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't even see anything about it yet. No, I don't. Never really a whole lot going on. I guess.
Yeah. Well, I want to know your opinion about this dude who shut up a school and is out free and
you
making
want to know
TikTok
my opinion?
following. Yeah.
You want to know my opinion?
This is a podcast. I'm asking for your opinion, asshole.
Kind of cringe.
Yeah.
Not very wizard.
It's not very ka-chow.
My final take is not very wizard.
Oh God.
Not very wizard at all. He must have known that people would find it out. That's crazy.
I think that's why he made that video, was because people were on the verge of finding it out and he wanted to get out ahead of it, you know?
Yeah, but then he just lied.
Yeah, he made it seem way less bad than it actually was.
He would have done better if he just didn't say it.
Yeah, he would have been better if he just stopped altogether and just disappeared.
Yeah, or no. If he would have just faced the consequences, but instead he lied about it. He knew people were gonna find out about it, and then he just lied.
By the way, if it really was a suicide attempt, I don't know about you, but me, whenever I hear it now, all I can think is it wasn't an attempted suicide; it was a failed suicide. They weren't good enough, you know. They didn't have the.
That's vile. That's a vile take. But I guess you're right. Yeah, they didn't have the balls.
Yeah, they didn't.
You're right.
They didn't have what it takes.
It wasn't an attempted, it was a failure. You're a failure.
Well, see, here's the difference, you know? It's one thing if you try to commit suicide by hanging yourself in your bedroom or jumping off a bridge.
Yeah.
It's another thing if you take a gun to school and attempt to die in a shootout with the police, right? Those are two very, very different ways to do it.
If you want to die that way, just go rob a bank. You know?
Just shoot yourself in your own home, dude. Don't even fucking endanger other people. You disastrous piece of shit.
I'm just saying, if you really feel the need to go out that way, there's easier ways.
Go to a military base, you know. I'm sure they're itching for a chance to shoot somebody. Go right to the police station.
Walk in front of the cop shop. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you ever do that in GTA? You went right to the police station and you pulled out a gun. You're like, I wonder how long I can make it right here, and then you immediately get mowed down by 12 officers.
That's all you do. You just went bang in the air. Yeah.
Just walk into the office with a handgun on your side, and be like, "Okay, I'm here for a shootout." And they're like, "What?
Yeah.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? Are you reporting a shootout?" And then pull out the gun, and then they just put you down right there.
Yeah. Then just look at the officer and be like, "I need your best man to have a shoot off with me." You know.
It's high noon.
It's high noon. You know. It should be something we're laughing about. Man. So why are people so scared to say his name?
I actually have no idea why. I wonder if it's harassment, they're trying to avoid harassment rules on YouTube and or TikTok.
Oh, no, and we're not. We don't care about that.
He shot up a school.
Yeah, exactly. It's insane.
This is hey man, don't talk bad about the dead. Don't talk bad about Hussein. 9/11. I don't know what you want me to do.
I think it's insane. I get
the second you shoot up a school, you lose all rights to respect for me. You know,
yeah, I think you just lose all rights for me.
That's There's so many steps. You have to get the gun. You have to go to the school. You have to pull the gun out. You have to pull the trigger.
You had to aim it. You forgot the aiming button.
You have to load it. You have to aim it.
You have
bop
to
it, twist it, pull it.
Yeah, you actually look at the person, swing it around, finger on the trigger, look at them. You know,
there's There's so many steps you could do that before you shoot somebody.
This isn't
in
just
a school.
like an oopsie daisies kind of moment.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
it's not like you were. It's not like you were on a new medication and you accidentally got into a fender bender. You know, like you took a shotgun to school. Like you don't deserve
this isn't
the
like
respect.
my baby mom was screaming at me and I accidentally drove into the ditch. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? Like, honestly, he could have turned the cop shop and like it's dueling.
yeah. Imagine he walked into the school and he like started playing BFG Division.
Shut up. Oh, that's so.
It's foul.
Awful.
It's disgusting, but
that is absolutely vile.
Oh yeah.
At least we're aware of it. That's what matters.
Hey, he shot up a school.
Yeah, no, he's just the worst.
This is. Oh, you want to talk about bad people? Do you see the clip about Sneeko?
And what did he do now?
The clip of him. He was at some sort of conference or whatever, I guess. And some kids came up to him and they were saying some vile shit to him, and he kind of just like laughed it off and was like, ha 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 ha. The kids were like, fuck the gays, women don't deserve respect. And it's like, dude, that is some irreprehensible shit. Of the fact that he kind of just like stood there and like laughed at him, like he was like laughing with him.
Okay, so hypothetically, I'm not defending him, but hypothetically, let's say you're walking around,
Yeah.
and some 10-year-old walks up to you, looks you dead in the eyes, and go, "Women don't have rights, and fuck the gays."
So here's the thing,
what
though.
do you do?
It's not random children. These are children that actively watch his channel. They're fans of him.
Oh,
yeah, because he's such a horrible person.
that's like, and it's not even like a satirical kind of horrible. You know what I mean? Yeah,
he's just actually awful.
He's a cuck, and it's crazy.
Yeah, actually. They are the members in his audience that, like, when he pulled out pieces of a gun to try and threaten,
and he said,
like,
watch my clips.
Watch my clips. Like, they're the ones going, oh shit, oh shit,
oh shit, oh shit, dude. I remember. I think I was I can't remember if I was watching his stream, like Moist Critical stream. Yeah. Or no, it was a video, wasn't it?
I have no idea. It was the video. His responding to it was a video.
Yeah. No, his with the
when he pulls out, he's like,
a nerd.
That's not a clip. That's a magazine.
Yeah, I remember on the stream, but that whole thing was going on.
Yeah, and he like pulled out an AR-15.
Then I watched his video and I was like, now that's a fire response. That's insane.
Yeah.
That was the most calm response I've ever heard, but I was like, yeah, that's like a threat, but not really.
Yeah.
He's just like
the fact that Charlie kind of does look like Wish.com, like John Wick too, really helps.
If John Wick
no disrespect, but like
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Jason Wick.
John Christ.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, that whole thing, to me, that whole community of like alpha male people are kind of gross already, like Andrew Tate. But like when it's someone like Andrew Tate who charges $50 a month, so the only people that he's fucking over really are teenage boys or like young adult men that have no purpose or no direction in life, and he's just sort of scamming them out of their money, right?
Yeah, but
it probably does affect younger people too, who just see his TikToks and stuff.
I feel bad for those young men that do that, and I think
well, yeah, of course, but
like not because they're getting scammed, but because I think they're looking for something.
Yeah,
you know
that's why all of them cling to these figures like Joe Rogan and Jordan Peterson, who are they say some stuff that is like kind of common sense, like actual advice, and then they fill on top of that complete abhorrent bullshit.
Joe Rogan and who?
Jordan Peterson. He's the Canadian.
I don't know. I don't know if he says some interesting things.
What do you call it? He says some stuff that's like interesting and nice, but then like he's gone really off the rails the longer time goes.
I don't think he's
not as flagrant as like Andrew Tate, but he's in the same kind of vein where he kind of
He's in the same. No,
his main audience is young adult males that don't have purpose. That's what I mean.
But I think he's preaching a different kind of. I'm not defending him, but he's preaching a different kind of message.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It is, but it's the same audience base. Is that's my point.
Oh no, okay, it's the same. Yeah, no, it's the same.
Yeah,
the
people who listen to Andrew Tate probably also read Jordan Peterson's book. You know,
which is funny because I find that they preach a different message. You know what I mean?
I think they preach the same thing, just in very different ways. Like the way that Sneeko or Andrew Tate does it is very aggressive and very over the top, on purpose to try and get themselves views, versus like Jordan Peterson's is very subdued because he's trying to make himself sound really smart. You know?
Well, I don't even know. I've listened to like psychology is what I do best.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I think whatever Andrew Tate and Sneeko say is just all pulling out of their ass, but I think what Jordan Peterson says has some validity to it. You just got to learn to pick through the shit that, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, but
like
I'm also a lot of the people that listen to that are not going to pick up on that nuance. They hear Jordan Peterson talk about how men only do blue collar jobs, and that's like all they hear out of it. They're like, yeah, women stay in the kitchen. Well, because you know.
Well, no, because and I think the issue is that is because they're watching the clips and not the whole thing. You know what I mean?
I don't know.
Like you could watch the whole thing of. I've sat down and I've watched some of this stuff. I've like Andrew Tate. No matter what you look at it, you could watch the short form.
Are you watching his older stuff or more recent stuff though?
Some of his I like his more recent stuff is kind of whack.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I'm judging him based on everything he's done, including the recent stuff, which some of the recent stuff is completely left field.
That's what I mean. That's kind of like whack. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think that I don't know. He's some of his older stuff is pretty good. I find. You know what I mean? But if you're just watching the clips,
I think
then
the biggest issue is when people
looks like women suck.
Yeah, you know? I think the biggest issue is when people take these kinds of figureheads and they follow their words like verbatim.
Yeah, I don't think you should.
And they treat it as like gospel.
At all. I think all of his messages are retarded. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that when somebody's giving advice, you shouldn't treat it as gospel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole thing. I just also don't care to specify. Yeah.
Yeah.
In the end of the day, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't really care either. It's kind of, I find them funnier and funnier as time goes on. Like those people like Alex Jones and Ben Shapiro and Sneeko and Andrew Tate. I think the people that they do affect, I feel sad for. Like my heart goes out to like those like 12, 13-year-old boys that are saying like, yeah, fuck the gays. Cause like, that's not a good life. And if like their whole thing is like, be a real man. It's like, I don't think being a real man includes telling gay people that they don't exist, you know? Or like keeping women in kitchens. That kind of behavior is kind of antithetical to what I think like manhood should be or what it needs to be. So on that level, I care, but of them as people, I don't give a shit. And I know that those figureheads are never going to change. Because they can't. Because they lose their fan base if they change their tune. You know?
Yeah, I don't think it's not even losing it. I think it's just, like, look at H. Right?
Yeah, the second that Andrew Tate goes, yeah, sorry, I did kidnap a bunch and rape a bunch of women. Sorry, my bad, guys. He's going to lose his fan base. Because they're going to be like, what?
No. So, that's not what I was going after. I was looking at, like, so, you know, like, H3, right?
Yeah.
So, I think that so you constantly preach this message, you know what I mean, right? And you stick with these very specific views.
Yeah.
And then the minute that those views change slightly from what your core fan base is, then they all attack you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's also what I mean. It's like they can't swap up because. Yeah. That's why you see people like Alex Jones just go more and more further off the deep end because
they can't go back. Even if they wanted to, they can't go back.
Yeah, without taking a hit to like that. Yeah.
Yeah, if you have a bunch of like really hard right wingers watching you and you say something that you truly believe in that doesn't agree with them, you know what I mean? Then you're fucked. Now you're getting attacked, right? So like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Well, because if you sell this message that like anyone who says this thing is bought and paid for, and then you start saying something that sounds like that thing, they're like, oh, well, now you're just bought and paid for.
Yeah.
And they can't stick with that.
Or if you preach something like you're really left, Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you make a joke or a comment that could mean nothing, but it sounds not as left as your audience.
Yeah, they
wants.
are
Now your
immediately
audience
against
going,
it.
Yeah, they're meeting now you're in the lion's den. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the worst part. That's the worst thing I hate about politics nowadays is that you're either all the way or not at all, which is confusing as fuck.
What I like about living up here because it just doesn't.
Yeah,
I mean it does, right? But
I think there are times where all the way or not at all does apply. Like we were talking about this the other day. Like, you know, not all cops type shit. Like if you have 100 cops and 99 of them are good and one is bad, then you have 100 bad cops. Which is one of those times when I think, you know, all the way or not at all applies.
It's rather you agree or you don't. Like in that scenario, it's rather you agree or you don't. Right?
Yeah. Well, I think the difference there is the nuance of like the environment. You know, that's an environment where like actual people's lives are on the line, and when people don't stand up against that crowd or against that one person, people actually die. Versus like if there's a bunch of fucking nut jabs that believe in QAnon and Alex Jones, we're not going to see, you know, we don't have officers of the law
walking
killing
around
people
with a Joe Rogan Experience t-shirt, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like telling people whatever.
They're just idiots. But yeah.
But also at the same time, so this is kind of where I come from. I had this conversation about this with other people.
Huh.
Yeah. I don't think I like talking about it because I don't like the feeling of, okay, so I agree that some things are really stupid to think. Yeah, I have my opinions. But I don't like to tell people their opinions are wrong because I'm no better than anybody else.
Well, it's an opinion, yeah. You're allowed to think whatever you want. I just think your opinion is stupid.
No, I agree. But even when it comes to religion, like, I'm not a huge fan of Catholics. But I don't shut them down like some people do because then I'm no better than the Catholics trying to shut me down.
Well, yeah, this is the atheism plus Christianity argument, right? Like, most religious faiths don't require them to constantly try to convert people, you know, versus like the whole point of Christianity is like they want to convert as many people.
I'm not disputing that, right?
I'm not arguing against your point. I'm just saying like that whole thing of like live and let live, but some people don't let it apply even though they act like they do. And
that's my thing, right? Is that people preach about whatever. They're like, man, I really don't like how the Catholics try to like shove their religion down my throat and tell me that I'm wrong, and then you look at a Catholic and you try to shove what you believe down their throat.
Yeah, you're doing the same thing.
You're doing the same thing.
Yeah,
right. That's why
I think I'm full and well. I am full and well aware of my ability to like sit someone like that down and be like, I think your whole thing is fucking stupid, but you're well and free, aware, and able to continue pursuing that if it helps you.
That's the thing, right? Is that you can have an opinion and I'll go, hey man, I think that's stupid, but think it, man. You know what I mean, right?
I think people should be allowed to be stupid, but
yeah, well, but it's like the whole. Who was I talking about this with? That it was like, okay, so it's rather you have freedom or safety, and in my mind, you can't have. You can have an even level of both, but if you want a lot of freedom, then you can't have a lot of safety.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Well, right? This is where we're at now. We have a lot of people that are like, live and let live. Leave it up to the states. Let people live their own independent lives, unhinged by government. But also ban abortion. But also ban gay people. But also, you know, like you can't have these overreaching things and then also be like, to each their own, be individualistic. But it's like every time someone tries to be individualistic, even the fringe, the really fucking weird people like furries and whatever on the fringe of society, they're like, but that shouldn't exist. But it's like, well, what do you mean let people live their lives if you're saying to certain people that they're not allowed to live their lives? You know, like that's the opposite of freedom to me. But
that's also freedom. You know what I mean? Right?
What, to say it? Well,
yeah.
There's a difference between saying I don't think that person should exist and then trying to make it so legislatively via the government that it cannot exist.
Freedom is fucked. And I will always say that because doing that is also freedom. Yeah. If you want complete freedom, then it's.
I mean, you have the freedom to vote, the hell they want. Like in that direction, but I don't think.
Yeah.
Taking away someone else's freedom is necessarily good for freedom as a whole. You know.
But that's why I think absolute freedom is retarded. Yeah.
Well, yeah, because that's just anarchy. That's
just anarchy, and everything that we've discussed, like that. You know what I mean?
My biggest issue is not like people.
Now, I'm not saying if somebody's going into legislation to try to stop that from happening, that nobody can intervene. People also have the freedom to intervene on that. You know what I mean, right? Like, it's kind of absolute freedom is kind of like do whatever the fuck you want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which I think is retarded and just leads to bad things. You know?
Kind of.
I don't know. I think that the absolute. Sorry, continue.
I think my something there did a factory reset in my brain, and I can't think of what my thoughts are right now.
Sorry. Well,
we did have a corpse die. Yeah, go ahead. We did have a corpse die in the Senate. We had a corpse die.
Yeah, dude.
Dianne Feinstein
died in the Senate. Yeah.
Yeah, she died. 90 years old, oldest living senator, or I think a political person ever in the U.S. to die in office at 90 years old. She was alive before the slinky was invented.
That was awesome. But yeah. Just to close up, just an original conversation about freedom. Yeah. I don't like talking about it because it's such a head fuck. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Because you can tell me, well, no, that person can't do that. And I'm like, well, then that's not freedom, pal. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah.
Like, absolute freedom is anarchy and everything goes in anarchy. You know? So it's like, you know what I mean? That's why I would say that I don't think absolute freedom is a great idea, because then people can kill other people because they're racist, and now they have the freedom to do that. You know what I mean? Right? Or I can kill other people over there. Not that I'd ever do that. But, you know what I mean? Like it's a head fuck, and it's like, I don't know. That's why I don't talk about it, because then it sounds like I'm supporting one side, and not supporting the other, and I'm like, nah, dude. Freedom is freedom for everybody, regardless of what they believe in. And it's just a head fuck to get around. You know?
Yeah, it's too much by now.
Yeah, it's a headache to even like think about, right?
Yeah, it's such a wild time.
Uh-huh. But, so I'm sure George Washington. Sorry, continue.
No, go ahead.
I'm sure George Washington is rolling in his fucking grave right now that the woman died in office. You know?
The fact that he set the precedent of like a 2-term president, and because he didn't want the image of someone dying in office to be, you know, a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that another thing that the founding fathers were big on was no 2-party system, you know, like there needs to be variety in order to keep democracy alive. And what we have now is people dying in office because they never leave. And what do you call it? A 2-party system that is only the two people in the 2 parties can make it. An independent is never going to make it unless things get so bad for the 2 parties that people have no other choice but than to vote independent.
I'm going to move to America and start my own independent party. Yeah.
You can. There was that dude who wore like a boot on his head that was running in the last election.
Yep. But the wizard guy?
Yeah. Yeah. You could be him. What's the other thing I was thinking about? We need to start taking questions, man. We gotta get a question segment on the show.
I don't think we have enough. I think our only person asking questions would be Spyro.
Hey,
and it would be, hey man, when can I come on the podcast?
Hey man, first time for everything.
Next episode, buddy, you'll be on. Promise.
Yeah. Well, I don't promise anything. Yeah, we don't know what the fuck we're doing, but maybe sometime in the future. God, I had something else. I cannot remember. Oh yeah, we might have a shutdown. I don't know if that's been avoided yet. I don't think so. The U.S. government might be heading for a shutdown.
Right.
Huh?
Right. Yeah. You know, you should have never fought the British, buddy. Wouldn't be happening.
Well, it happens just about once a year. Normally, it's a regular thing that does happen.
What?
But it's coming up this year. And they're frozen, and I think they took a 45, the guys who were supposed to vote on it, I think Congress, whatever, they chose to give themselves a 45-day vacation, and then they're like, okay, after those 45 days, then we'll come back and think about it,
Awesome.
Which is fantastic. And the fact that, like, during a shutdown, they only have an allowance for specific members of the federal government to continue getting paid. So people that are making way less money, they're making maybe $50,000 a year, will stop getting paid and be told to, well, deal with it for the next couple of, weeks or whatever.
Why do you guys have that?
Because they're allowed to. But the people who decide whether or not we shut down will continue getting paid in full, and they get paid over $100,000 a year.
Why do you need to shut down?
Because they cannot agree on what they're going to fund next year.
So they just go, fuck it, let's just shut down.
Yeah, they're like, well, they haven't decided on a budget yet, so nothing gets budgeted.
You guys should have never fought the British.
Maybe that's our issue.
I think the issue was that you wanted freedom, and freedom fucked you in the ass. Yeah.
That might be it. But between that and everything else, it's fucking stupid. And the fact that they can choose at any time to give themselves a raise, which they're unelected officials. They are moved in by some internal system, and then at any time they can be like, oh yeah, by the way, I want to get paid $30,000 more this year. And they can just do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but the minimum wage...
That's being self-employed, Kyle, and I'm proud of it.
But the minimum wage has not moved since 2008.
Yeah. Shouldn't have left the British.
It is as low as $2.13 if you are working in the service industry.
That's the only thing. That's the only thing I can tell you now.
I really wish I had a nice pair of tits so I could start an OnlyFans right now, dude. I swear to God.
Dude, do you want to just... I'll move out there. We can start one together.
the gay chaos OnlyFans.
Why don't we do our podcast, one episode of it, where we'll just butt naked? Yeah.
Yeah.
Dicks out and everything, and we just sit there.
Yeah. If we ever start a Patreon, that'll be a goal. Do fucking butt ass naked podcast episode. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, we have to disclose that though. I think
it's just
might get. Well, no. Do you not remember the Tall Night scenario where, like, you remember that? The Patreon fiasco?
Tall Night, yeah. That would be an issue if it just so happened, or it would be really weird if we had a Discord where, like, the head of that Discord was posting photos of himself in basically tidy whities. And this is an inside joke. I don't know why I'm saying this on the podcast, but
yeah, that would really suck. We should just stop saying it's an inside joke and just allude to this thing we'll never talk about, like, ever. We'll never expand on this.
Yeah, we're never actually gonna reveal what this is all about. But
what this is all about until he gets angry enough to come on the podcast.
He's welcome to come on the podcast any fucking day of the week. Trust me.
We don't even have to talk about what happened. We could talk about other stuff. We
can talk about Elder Scrolls or something. Even if Ben is not here to record like he normally isn't, I will come on the podcast with you, and we will talk about Starfield.
Shut up! I missed one episode.
Well, I mean, yeah, but you also missed like 2 weeks because we couldn't record another episode.
I was a little busy doing things.
That's fine, but like, maybe we shouldn't call ourselves a weekly podcast. We're the weekly podcast uploads every other week.
I don't know why we're arguing about this. I don't know why we're arguing about this like we're dating or something, okay?
Because you never give me attention.
2 weeks. Just because I didn't come over to you. I sent you memes.
Memes?
That's
come
a lot
on.
of attention coming
really?
To me.
Really? Really? This is the game we're fucking playing. Memes. Yeah,
I'm a busy man.
Yeah, I want to feel like chopped liver. Man. Yeah. Hold on, real quick. Actually, I gotta get your opinion on this.
Not just the whole liver thrown in the garbage.
I gotta get your opinion on this. Did you listen to the one that you missed?
Like, half-heartedly, yeah.
Okay, so hippo or polar bear? What's your pick? Are you stupid or are you smart?
Oh, I don't remember this specific segment. Yeah.
We're gonna start ending every episode with hippo versus polar bear.
I think a hippo would dominate. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, actually, I kind of dig this segment. Every time we get a guest on here, we gotta ask them hippo versus polar bear, who would win?
Yeah. What did you say?
Hippo. It's a fucking hippo.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. This is like the new 1 billion lions or all the Pokemon.
Yeah, except for it's a much easier thing because a hippo survives the fucking plains of Africa.
Nah, but there's 1 billion lions. I think it's pretty easy.
But it's God. I don't know shit about Pokemon.
But there's 1 billion lions. There's 1 billion of them, Kyle.
Hold on. What if we swapped it around?
Yeah.
1 billion lions or Kratos
versus a hippo. Oh, Kratos.
No, versus a hippo. 1 billion lions versus a hippo.
Dude, the hippo could just go underwater.
Can lions go underwater? You know, how long can a hippo
Not
hold
for
its
very
breath?
long. No, the lions could make a lion submarine. They can go underwater.
Fuck.
You know?
Never mind. Hold on.
No,
Hippos.
They could just Kyle. They could just drink the water because there's 1 billion of them and there's no more water. You know?
Yeah. So, hippos. Hippos can hold their breath for 5 minutes.
Birthday. Yeah, hippos can hold their breath for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Hold up, my sister's trying to inform me that her birthday is in 2 hours. Yeah, I'll be up to tell you happy birthday.
But yeah, they can hold their breath for 5 minutes, so they'd hide for all of 5 minutes, and they get mauled by a billion lions.
And then how fast can a hippo swim?
What if they 5 miles an hour? So
okay, what were you saying? What if?
So if say like the battlefield is like like a grasslands with a lake in the middle, and the hippo goes in and it's like goes underneath because it's like maybe I can wait out the lions, and it starts its 5-minute countdown until it runs out of air. Do the lions then form a lion clock and it just starts ticking down? Do they make a lion hourglass?
No, they make a lion fishing rod with their lion clock. Yeah. And they go fishing.
It's got a reel. They make a lion fisherman to grab onto the lion fishing rod, and they
make a lion C4 and they throw it in the pool.
They make a lion M1 Abrams, and then they make the atomic lion bomb.
They make the L bomb. They reenact all of Oppenheimer.
You got the Robert Downey Jr. lion. You got the Cillian Murphy lion. You got the
Lion Hummer.
You got the lion test houses. You got the lion. You got the lion manhole cover. That shoots off at 125,000 miles an hour. 5 times the speed of the rotation of the Earth. The Earth that is also made out of lions.
So the lion people went into the lion space and the lion stars and the lion sun. One lion. That's 1 billion.
The lion sun is just a bunch of lions on fire.
No, it's just a bunch of red lions. Red and orange lions.
Oh God!
It's like those big images that they make with smaller images.
Yeah, it's the lion collage.
It's just, everything is just like lions. Like you look at a bench and it's just a bunch of little lions.
It's the Minecraft pixel art, but made out of lions. they put Alex from Madagascar right in the middle, and then slowly pull out in creative mode, and it's just the sun.
Alex is our god. He's the leader of the 1 billion lions.
That's such a who do you think out of all the lions, if they were together, if you had a billion lions, who their king would be? Because you got like Alex from Madagascar, but you also got Simba, but you also got Mufasa.
No. It would be that lion. You know that lion that does the intros?
Oh, the MGM lion.
Yeah.
Do you think all 1 billion lions would be here, and they would be like arguing? Like Alex would be doing like a sick fucking pump ass like dance move, And then Simba would be going like, "My dad died," and then you would have two people carrying a poster, like how like the workers used to carry glass up on a rock that has the MGM thing on it, and then the lion bursts through it and roars.
No. There would not be two people. It'd be two lions.
Two lion people.
Two lions would be carrying up the poster made out of lion. Yeah.
Then he roars. And he
then
goes,
then
"Lion."
He roars. He goes, "Lion."
Lion.
Lion.
What other lions are there in fiction? That's all the lions, right? That's all of them, right? MGM, Madagascar, Simba. That's all of it, right?
Except for the ones that are on the Nature Channel.
Wait, yeah, but it's a billion lions, so they're all there.
Yeah. Could you imagine if one day the news comes on and you're eating your cereal and the newscaster goes, "There are 1 billion lions surrounding the city."
Dude, there's a Transformer lion.
Yeah, but that's not a lion.
I mean, it's a Transformer lion made out of lions.
That's a robot who's just lying to me.
No, it's a Transformer robot made out of lions. And he transforms between a robot made out of lions into a lion made out of lions.
And all of this just to stop one hippo in a lake. Keep in mind.
What other fictional lion? I looked up fictional lion characters, and they're all from the fucking Lion King.
The Lion King?
Yeah. Like, there's the Nemean lion. The Cowardly Lion from The Wizard of Oz. He would not be the leader. Oh. He's got cowardly in the name.
No, but not after he saw the wizard. He became a courageous
lion.
But
do you think, because he's got the, like the story of how like everyone in the Wizard of Oz like completely sucked ass, like their working conditions were like subhuman.
Yeah.
Do you think the Cowardly Lion is actually just the dude in the suit, and the second he tries to like stand up, he just dies of heat stroke because they're in the middle of Africa? He just pulls up and then has a heart attack. And then the lion doctor shows up.
You need a CAT scan, son. Oh,
okay.
A lot of lions.
I'm done with the lion jokes. Holy shit, that's so many lion jokes. Oh my god.
Dude, that's almost 1 million lion jokes.
Who would win 1 billion jokes about lions or all the Pokemon?
Or all the Pokemon? That's a lot of lions.
You might actually have so many jokes that by the time you finish telling them all, they'd all be dead.
I love the Pokemon question because everybody knows the answer, but there's something so funny about going, "Well, what about earthquake?" And I'll go, "But that's a lot of lions." Or they'll just build a lion plane.
Yeah.
1 billion is a big number.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. Really glad.
Oh god.
Yeah, I bet you didn't think that question was gonna go there, huh?
Why did we start with this? How did we get onto the lions?
Dude, this is good TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta actually start cutting it up. I think this is gonna be it. We've been going for about over an hour and a half now. This is the longest episode yet.
That's a lot of lions.
They made their big lion clock and they made the Lion Chaos Continuum podcast with a lion me and a lion you, and they got a lion computer and recorded it on a lion microphone.
Buster McLion, your least favorite lion, your least favorite lion dad. It's awesome.
Oh, that's so the title.
What? Can we just do a podcast and dress up as lions?
I gotta go buy a lion costume.
Let's do one. That's awesome. That's such a good... Did you like this ending? It's just a banger one.
I can't stop laughing. Thank you guys very much for watching.
And remember, 1 billion lions. That's a big number.
We're now on Apple Podcasts. Oh, what else? I thought I had something to close out, but thank you very much for watching. Go fuck yourselves.
That was awesome.
But it's a billion lions.
But it's a billion lions. Do you not like that bit?